Hey everyone, it's Ajna. It's been a while since I made a video. I'm trying to pump out a quick video for you guys just as a quick update on what I've been going through, what I've been dealing with, and how I have finally immersed from what I would call the dark night of my soul. So basically I have been going, if you guys have been watching my older videos, you guys have known I was going through a really rough time. I was going through an emotional crisis and I didn't know, I lost a sense of myself. I lost a sense of my individuality. I lost a sense of just grounding in general. I kind of just, it's like I was climbing up a hill or a mountain, and I gained so much footing up this hill, and then all of a sudden I just slipped backwards, and regressed so much in such a short period of time. It kind of shocked me, and it shocked me so much, and it shocked me so much to where I kind of went through a crisis period. And since then, I have doing a lot of work emotionally, a lot of healing on myself. I have since I went raw, and then I stopped being raw a week ago after, at Lightning in a Bottle, because I wanted a falafel, and I was like, I'm gonna eat a falafel, why not, So, but I'm returning to my raw diet tomorrow, and I'm going to be fully raw for another few weeks just to detoxify and cleanse my body, and been doing yoga consistently, and that has helped me so much, so much, because I lost that part of me. When I fell into that emotional pitfall, I stopped doing yoga. I started eating so bad. I was eating a lot of, not good food like pizza and pasta and all this stuff, and I was working out in California, and I gained a lot of weight, and I was wondering why. Like, I don't gain weight that quick, I gain weight, but I don't gain weight that quickly, and a lot of it had to do with all the stress that I was building up. So what I did to get out of that stress bubble, to get out of that darkness that I shaded myself in, was when I was working in California, I made it a point to put myself in my vortex. And I know this sounds cliche, and I know blah blah blah, law of attraction, believe it if you want, if not, then move along, please. I don't need the negative comments or the negative feedback, because I don't really even read them, really. I read them, but I don't pay any mind to them. I'm just like, okay. But anyways, so if you don't agree with law of attraction, if you don't believe in it, then please move on and find something that you do believe in, But I believe in law of attraction. I believe very wholly and strongly about, you put positivity into your vortex and you get positivity out, and you keep setting this cycle up for yourself. And the more you amplify your positivity, the more you get out of it. And it's, a habit of training your thoughts, training your habits, your ways, your diet, everything that makes you feel good, do it. And that's what I did. I persisted in doing everything that I could possibly do to make myself feel good, to make myself feel whole. And it took a few months to finally clear my head, clear the air, clear my body, and just emerge from that darkness, and with a greater sense of self and a greater sense of self-worth. And I had lost a lot of that self-worth when I went through that period of confusion. And I feel like I lost a lot of that because it brought up a lot. It brought up everything within my being that needed to be healed. It brought up, every bad habit, everything that I would do in a negative light. It was mirrored back to me. So I saw what I was doing, and I essentially healed it through a vigorous process of self-work and self, gratification, and just loving myself for who I am, regardless of if somebody else reciprocates that love or not. And that's what I was going through. So I have since been traveling, and after getting back from California, I, settled at home, started working on myself, um, and all this stuff. And then I ended up going to Gem and Jam, and Gem and Jam Part 2, uh-oh. And at Gem and Jam, I had this intense experience where so before Gem and Jam, I made a little elixir concoction of a couple grams of psilocybin mushrooms and made a tea for my family to drink with me. At Gem and Jam, we all split it, and I had a glass, and I drank it before we went in, and I had this strange feeling beforehand of knowing that I was going to go through another initiation. And every time I do a psychedelic, it is an initiatory process. So I end up going through what I call a multidimensional mystery school initiation. And so I'm in line waiting for my ticket at Gem and Jam. I start to feel, the tingles come on, and I was just like, uh-oh, it's happening. So right when I got inside, I, put all my stuff behind the booth we were working at, and then I went and I sat down on the dance floor. And at this time, Alex and Allison Gray were talking about love and appreciation and all of, their awesome, good vibe stuff. And as much as I wanted to listen to it, I couldn't. I was going straight into initiation. And during this initiation, it felt almost like the death experience that I had at the last Gem and Jam, where things got really warpy and everything around me kind of slowed down. But this time I was prepared. I knew what to do because it wasn't my first multidimensional experience. So I sat there and I meditated. And I meditated hard. I don't know if you can meditate hard, but I was posted. I was posted. That's it. And I was there for what I feel was like 20 minutes, but it definitely seemed a lot longer in aspect to what I was actually experiencing. It's kind of like when you smoke DMT and it's a 10-minute trip at the most usually, and you have eons worth of knowledge just downloaded into your system. You're never really able to fully bring back all of that knowledge, but you get it, and your subconscious, computes it and analyzes it on that level, on that higher level, but you're not able to bring it back to your 3D consciousness. And so that's kind of what I was experiencing during the psilocybin trip, and I feel that psilocybin and DMT are very intimately related, and if anything, don't quote me, but I believe that psilocybin does induce endogenous DMT. And so I was having this trip, this experience, this grounding meditative initiation. And I was closing my eyes, and I felt the presence of last year's Gem and Jam on the spiral of time, so to speak. I felt it very close, and I kept getting this like, it was like almost like a darkness, but it was like a jester. I always get this jester, and it was the jester, like the illusionist of death, and he was tempting me to go back to last year's Gem and Jam so that I could reconnect to that one experience that I had last year and go back and re-experience that and live it right. But I pretty much was just like, that's not right. That's not how time works. I'm not going back. I'm going forward. And when I admitted that, when I willed that, that is when the death jester turned into, I saw that it was death, and then it moved aside. And then when it moved aside, my energy field just started doing this crazy crackling. It was like a crackle, and it was just like almost like fireworks were going off in my aura, just rainbow, sparkle, holographic, just every kind of color, beautiful arrays of colors, just sparks going off. And I sat there for about 20 minutes doing this crazy spark, and I just remember I was sitting there and I was just like pulsing, and I could feel like everything that I needed to be shed. Like I just wanted to wipe off all of my makeup. I wanted to, I was wearing extensions at the time. I don't know if that's weird for you guys, but hey, try new things out in this dimension. So I was wearing extensions, and I just wanted to take them out and, just shed everything that was unnecessary at the time. And I felt that way, but I didn't do it, of course, because I was, in a public setting, and that probably would have been weird if I'm just like, unclipping some extensions, Forgive my glamour, please. I am still learning, and I enjoy it. So I was going through this process of shedding and highlighting everything that no longer served me at that time. And I sat there and I opened up. I opened up my heart because I was, sparking out, and all of a sudden this just giant pillar just anchored from me to the earth and then up and through my crown chakra, and I was just anchoring all of this multidimensional light in, just so much multidimensional light. I was pulsing, I was just anchoring this energy. And then I finally just, kind of seal it up and close it up, and then I just kind of crack open my eyes, and I just have this big giant smile on my face, and this guy walks by me and he hands me a piece of art, and he's like, "This is for you." And that was to me a sign that I had, done something very important on, a multidimensional level, but in 3D retrospect, it was, it was validated, I guess, if that's the right term. And so I went on to experience a series of initiations since. I haven't really been looking for psychedelic experiences. They've kind of just come to me. But since then, I did a lot of ego shedding, and it put a lot into perspective, and it put a lot of what is unnecessary and what is actually beneficial for my growth, and for who I am at the time. And I ended up coming home, and I ended up just cutting off so much of my hair. I cut out, my hair is this long, but I have the superfluous, extra stuff, because I like it. This is who I am. This is what I enjoy. This is what makes me feel good about myself. And I learned that, after cutting all of my hair and looking at myself in the mirror and just being like, okay, now that I've shed the old, I'm allowed to grow back into who I am, And so I decided to dye my hair blue again because I had black hair. And it wasn't me. I would look in the mirror and it was me, it was my natural self, and I always thought, they always say go back to nature, go back to nature. So I was trying to go back to my natural self, but it was resisting who I wanted to be. So although it was following the natural state of events, or the natural way, it was not following what I felt in my heart. And so I felt a big pull, I felt a big pull. So I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I feel good when I have blue hair and extensions and wear makeup. That's just how I feel right now. That's just at the point of understanding that I'm at, And so I did it. And since then, I have been growing and becoming and feeling like my vital energy has been restored and my heart is opening again. It's not fully open, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to open up, and I'm trying to, fully release the past. And I feel like I've released a lot. I released a lot of layers that were kind of blocking me from moving forward. And it was just kind of energetic sludge that was just keeping me in this vibratory quarantine, and I couldn't be who I was. And like I said, I was climbing up a mountain and I fell down part of the mountains. So I have since been trying to regain my footing. And so, sorry about the lighting, guys. Anyways, so I've since been working on. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm an Aquarius, and we come with the ideas, but when it comes to technical stuff, like all this stuff, I'm not so good at it. We'll just blame Mercury retrograde like everybody else does. Just kidding, but kind of. Yes. Anyways, so all this shedding happened, and now, like, you could see it. I could feel it. It's I was on a level of decline, and now since then I've been rising up, and I've been studing my power, and I've been standing tall, and I've gained a new sense of individuality, and I'm no longer seeking for something outside of myself. Of course, I would like my dream guy. Of course, I would like, to experience a lover and to experience, tantric elation and ecstasy on a tantric level. But I asked my guides the other day, I was like, why don't I have my dream bae yet, And they were like, well, are you a tantric priestess yet? And I was like, oh yeah. I should probably work on that, huh? And so it helps me understand, or I'm helping myself understand that things happen when they're supposed to happen, and I should stop trying to force things, and instead of resisting things that I put into my vortex, resisting wants and desires that I put into my vortex, just allow it to flow naturally in its own natural time. It'll happen when it happens, and just bliss out until then. And that's what I've been doing, and that's what I've been learning, and that's the process I've been going through. And so this sense of individuality, this newfound old me, I found a great chunk, or I found the hole where a great chunk of my vital energy was leaking out. And so since I've patched that hole with some multidimensional light, and I'm now moving forward, and I'm performing at Sonic Bloom this year, which is going to be so crazy because I've been putting this into my vortex for so long, and just trying to figure out what it is I'm supposed to do, and everything kind of just laying out so perfectly in front of me. Even though some things didn't seem like they were hi. It didn't seem like they were happening. It didn't seem like they were happening the right way, but now they are. Or now things are put into perspective to where I understand, this me understands that me, but this me understands that me because I've learned so much since then. And so now I am utilizing and integrating and going through a series of initiations, and I feel like I've had some major downloads lately that I will talk about in another video, a little bit more in depth and better lighting. I'm sorry, sorry. But I'm still getting over these barriers of speech and ego, and trying to authentically express myself without that kind of I have anxiety sometimes, so when I'm talking I kind of put on this heart shield, so it's but it's egoic, it's based in ego, and I'm trying to overcome that and authentically communicate myself, because I feel authentic, but when I'm confronted just in physical aspect with anything, just any conversation, or just an audience or something in front of me, I the vulnerable me has to put on its puffy front. So that's how it is, and it's not that I'm fake, it's not that I'm any of that. It's not that, it's because I am vulnerable. It's because I am still not able to be my full authentic self. And I hope that people understand that, because you know, I I don't want to miscommunicate myself, or lead people on with wrong energy. And so that's something I've wanted to talk about for a really long time, and finally I'm letting it out and accepting that I am in this point. I'm at this point in my life. I am at this point where I still want blue hair and I still want to wear makeup, and I do have ego. And it's okay. It's okay, because I'm learning and I'm growing, and this is all part of the growth. And I feel that since I have gone through a series of initiations, I've been exponentially growing and exponentially, returning to who I was, to who I've always been. And it feels good. It feels good. So I just wanted to check in with you guys, because a couple of you guys have been asking about me, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you. The smiles are permanent. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. Um, yeah, bliss, blast, and blessings. I love you guys. Thank you so much for just being interested. I don't know why, but thank you. And I hope that we can be friends. And don't ever come up to me as a fan. Please don't ever do that. We're friends, okay? I don't have fans. We're eye to eye. We'll always be eye to eye. Please don't do that to me. I can't do it. But thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Do awesome things. I don't know. Thank you.